Thanks for tuning in to this ISO Byte video series where we bring you bite-sized ISO videos. In this series, we'll talk about the updates to the ISO 27001 framework issued in the 2022 update. We'll cover all of the Annex A controls, both the new controls as well as the existing ones, to make sure that you have everything you need to implement them effectively in your organization. In this video, we'll discuss controls related to business continuity. The first one we'll talk about is an organizational control, 5.29, information security during disruption. The control reads, the organization should plan how to maintain information security at an appropriate level during disruption. What this means is that the organization should conduct something like a business impact assessment to understand all of its systems and processes that rely upon those systems to operate. By doing that, you'll begin to understand what the minimum baseline security requirements are for those systems and processes, so that in the event of a disruption, you're able to implement additional controls or ad hoc controls to maintain your security posture throughout a business continuity event. The next control is one of the net new controls. It's 5.30. It's a little more broad. It's ICT readiness for business continuity. ICT stands for Information Communication Technology. The control reads, ICT readiness should be planned, implemented, and maintained and tested based on business continuity objectives and ICT continuity requirements. What this means is that the organization should now consider beyond information security, what are the business continuity requirements of the organization? How quickly do we need to recover these systems or processes to avoid a material disruption or damage to the business? What are the minimum standards for calling a system restored or at least operational while it gets restored back to its original function? What are the requirements to ensure that it is operating as it was? Also considering things such as alternative processes. So a lot of planning goes into these two controls. The next three controls are from Section 8 of the Annex A, so these are actual operational controls. The first one is 8.6, capacity management. This one is focused on ensuring that you have appropriate capacity planning and response procedures in place. Many companies today don't have to worry so much about this because they have the ability to do things like auto scale in the cloud. That's great. However, you want to make sure that you are at least deliberately planning with the right group of people and taking notes on those planning meetings to be able to show to an auditor. The next control is 8.13, it's information backup. This one says backup copies of information software and systems should be maintained and regularly tested in accordance with the agreed topic-specific policy on backup. So there's a couple of things to consider there. The first is that you need to, number one, maintain backups. Most companies do this fine. However, it also implies that you should be testing those backups for restoration integrity. You need to make sure that you can show those backups could be used in the event that something goes wrong and you need to restore from a backup. Maintaining records to show that that's happened is very important. The next control is 8.14, and it's redundancy of information processing facilities. This control reads, information processing facilities should be implemented with redundancy sufficient to meet availability requirements. Again, refer back to the planning you've done for 5.29 and 5.30, and make sure that you have appropriate redundancy in place to meet the requirements of critical systems. So things like critical cloud infrastructure, production environments, typically you're going to want to have at least a failover ready environment or plans to failover. Again, this comes down to contractual commitments, business requirements. A lot of assessment work needs to be done to understand what your minimum standards are or what your minimum requirements are for redundancy of information processing facilities. Thanks for tuning in to this ISO Byte video series. If you'd like to learn more about updates to the framework, check out a link in the description below to a white paper we've written. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content like this. Look for us on LinkedIn, and also check out our website at risk360.com to learn more about how Risk360 may be able to help you achieve your security and compliance goals.